You will like my video. You would like my video. Hi, for this project I'm using a Marante piece of wood and then a backing of plywood, and I'm going to glue them together, and then I'm going to cut a circle at the biggest size circle that I can, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. On the plywood I'm gluing a tenon, and so because plywood is a little bit soft, I'm afraid that it will break when I'll work with it, so I'm putting a tenon, hot gun glue, and hopefully that will hold together and not break off. I'm just going to square it down so it will be easier, and then I'm going to start marking, and you'll see how I do it step by step. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's going to be a fun project, and I'm going to try to do a hypnotizing circles. So it will look like the hypnotizers, the hypnotizers look like project. Those black marks I'm going to remove and hollow it all the way to the bottom, to the plywood, and you will see the circles are fully centralized circles. I'm going to use a new technique that I used on other projects some time ago. I didn't put a video, and you will see how it works, and you let me know if you like it. By the way, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, a thumbs up or thumbs down, and put some remarks at the bottom. The reason why I added a light over there is so I can see the moment it becomes white underneath, it means that I hit the plywood, and that's where I have to stop. Now remember that this Marante is glued to the plywood, so it will not fall off. Not just to remove the piece of wood and to destroy it, I decided the last rim I'm going to cut it out, and I'm going to use it, of course, in another project as a barrier, as a vessel or something. Because I'm using resin, I want it to be smooth, so I'm also sandpapering inside the grooves, and then I'll continue. Now what I'm doing is I'm cutting in the back a line so I can remove the tenon. Actually took off a small piece of plywood, and then I'm squaring it down again so I can reuse it for my next step. Now what I do is I measured another circle that I'm going to cut with a bandsaw. A few people asked me, is it not a left-hand side bandsaw? I think it is. I got it like that. It's a little bit difficult to work with it, but I manage around. It's a bandsaw that is made for left hand turners. I'm creating the end barriers where it's been cut off so it will not leak, and I'm going to pour resin. It's with a drop of white to be a contrast to the Meranti, the dark Meranti. The same technique, I'll square it down, and in one area over there, I think I cut it a little bit too deep with the benzo, but it's okay. I'm going to just make the whole thing a little bit smaller. The diameter is going to be smaller, but it's going to be perfect. I'm creating a recess, and I'm using the a normal parting tool to give it a slightly dovetail, because it's going to be a very shallow, very shallow recess, and I'll have to be very careful so it will not break and it will not jump out of it. So I'll have to give it a slight dovetailed angle, so it will help a little bit better. This thing will look like a very shallow plate. Look, I love this play of the dark and white and off-center lines. Like I said, it's going to be a very shallow plate, and I have to be very careful on the other side and not to go through. So that will be a very close shave project. I'm using the pads, the Wondershare pads, and I'm going to, after that, I'm going to put Yorkshire grit, and after the Yorkshire grit, I'm going to put Hampshire sheen, the original one. No, I think that maybe I'll put this time. I'll put the glassy one, and I'll turn it around to work on the inside. And the inside will be a little bit of a mess because I have to first remove the plywood, and plywood creates a lot of mess. Here we're starting with a hell of a mess, removing all the way the plywood, and like I said before, it will be a very close shave, because I started with a very narrow piece of wood. It was a shelf that somebody throw some shelves out, and the wood is Meranti, and it's a beautiful piece of wood. Why do you throw a nice piece of Meranti out? Not only did he throw it out, he also broke it. So from a big shelf, I had only a small piece to try to recover, and I managed to recover it. And that's the project I'm doing with that, because it was a nice piece of wood. Now, if you put on this piece of wood, you put a nice finish. It shines and gives you the sparkle of this wood. So just another piece of wood that was thrown away that I saved. At this stage, my wife came to the workshop and she looked at that and she said, look properly into that, look properly into that. You will do the dishes today. You will do the dishes today. You see me earlier tapping the wood, and the reason why I tapped it was to listen if that, because behind the recess I wasn't sure how much I've been left, and didn't left a lot, so I can hear it like hollowing. If I would go a little bit deeper, probably I'll have a big sieve. My logo, and I think I finished it, and I hope that you like it. And if you like it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to give me the thumbs up or the thumbs down. And very important, put remarks at the bottom. Very, very important to me, so I know if I'm doing well or I'm not doing well. Everything depends on you, what you're going to tell me. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in my next video.